Hey everybody, I'm Mike DeSepoli and welcome to the Ask the Advisor show. Ask the Advisor is brought to you by Heritage Financial Advisory Group. And this week in episode 91, we want to talk about 4 things to consider before financially bailing out your children. According to a recent study by TD Ameritrade, about 25% of baby boomers are supporting their family members. And the math on that equates to about $10,000 per year of financial support. Now that's $10,000 that people either aren't saving or aren't investing for their own future. And it got us to thinking, can you afford to financially bail out your children, or will it come at the expense of your own financial security? We understand parents want to be generous and they want to help their kids in every way that they can, but sometimes too much help can hurt them in the long run. So we have 4 things for you to consider before you go down that path. First thing, what specifically is this money for? And the key word here is specifically. Many parents tend to err on the side of protecting their child's feelings when weighing these financial concerns. We know asking for money can be embarrassing, and sometimes parents don't want to ask the details, the nitty-gritty about what this money is actually for. But it's really important to understand why your child needs support. Is it because they're having trouble paying monthly expenditures that are important, like rent and insurance and healthcare? Or is it because they don't have a good financial framework, they don't understand money, and they're wasting it on other things? So it's very, important to be tactful with this, get to the root of the problem, find out why they need money in the first place before you continue to write blank checks towards things that may not be useful for them. Number 2, you have to consider, what is the real cost to you? Many parents are already helping their children more than they may even realize. For example, you may not think much of letting your kids stay on the family cell phone plan or letting them piggyback on your HBO subscription month in and month out. It's only $20 a month, right? But these things add up over time, and you may not realize how much money you've been giving away through the years. So before you pony up some additional financial support, it's important to get all these things out on paper. And we recommend you set limits on these things. If you want your kids to stay on your cell phone plan, maybe they stay on there until they're 25 years old or until they get married and move out of the house, whatever comes first. It's important to set these limits so that nobody gets taken advantage in the long run. Another thing we want you to consider is other ways that you can help your kids. What are the terms of the bailout going to be? If your kids want you to play banker, well, then you tell me one bank that would allow you to borrow money with no plan for repayment, 0 interest, and really no set terms in place. And the answer is none. So if you're going to bail out your kids, if you're going to offer them financial support, it's very important that you lay out the terms ahead of time. Now, we understand if you don't want to charge interest on the money you're lending, that is quite all right. Most parents wouldn't do that. However, it's important to have a time frame set in place when you're going to get your repayment, how much is going to be repaid every month, because in effect, you'd be teaching them some financial discipline along the way, and we think that is very, very important. The other things you can think about is, how else can I help? It's very likely that your child spends 16 or more years in school learning nothing about money management, and not all about money management and personal finances is meant to be learned in school. Some of it's learned through real life examples, real life situations that they go through. So maybe you can help close that knowledge gap. Maybe find out what they're struggling with, why they're having issues. Maybe it has to do with budgeting. Maybe it has to do with saving. Maybe it's a culmination of all these different things. So before you're just ready to leap into action and provide additional financial support, maybe you can help provide some financial education to them, which in the long run will shore up a lot of these problems that your children are experiencing. So this is just 4 things to consider before being, the bank and financially bailing out your kids. Again, we understand parents want to help their kids at every turn, and we admire that, but you have to make sure it's not at the peril of your own retirement savings. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you back next week for episode 92.